All right, welcome to the Seventh Rule Roundtable. Everybody's here,
and Chelsea's in her car again, Ryan. Again,
she's always in her car, or someone else's. Where are you going, Chelsea?
Oh, I just went to the Melrose Flea Market, so I'm sitting in my car because it's too hot.
Awesome.
I bet it's cooler in your car, huh?
Oh yeah, it's so hot outside.
Yeah.
Hey, you were on Melrose at the flea market?
Yeah, I love that place.
That's where I went to high school, Fairfax.
No, it's not. Oh, I thought you went to high school at the flea market.
No.
What's up, John Tuparella? What's up, John?
Thank you for that. But no.
Hey, man.
The flea market is at my high school, Fairfax.
You opened that door. I just walked through it.
I saw that.
I love flea markets. I go to them like every Sunday. I just kind of travel around looking for flea markets.
Oh, yeah?
And I look for vintage medical equipment.
My dad used to have a booth at that flea market on Melrose. He sold Native American rugs. Yeah. This was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Who's going to the Star Trek convention? I know John's going because he basically.
I wish.
I will be there.
I'm
said
too
I
poor.
wish?
What's up, John?
I wish I was going.
I will be there. I went tag happy on everybody earlier.
Yeah.
John is.
I'm out.
John is channeling Dave Bautista from the Guardians of the Galaxy when he's invisible. You know, he's trying to blend into the wall. Thinks nobody knows he's here.
If I move very slowly.
Exactly. You don't see me.
I'm interested in knowing about Rex Wood here. Mr. Rex, where are you calling in from?
His audio says it's off on my end.
Yeah, I see.
Hang on.
It's back on.
There you are, Rex.
There I am. Yeah. You think I could operate this thing? I do it all the time for work, but today it just seems that way. I'm actually calling them from Louisville, Kentucky.
Wow. Home of the Slugger.
Absolutely.
Home of my
Slugger,
corporation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Home of Hunter Thompson, if you know who Hunter Thompson is.
Hunter S. Thompson, yeah.
Yeah,
Writer.
Absolutely. So, yeah, calling in from down here. Love it. Not going to get to go to the Star Trek convention this year in Las Vegas, but I got some very good friends that are going to stop by the table and see you guys while they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Homer says hi. He's on the plane right now, so he can't join in on our roundtable today.
Bollocks.
Yeah, he went out really early.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's on a plane?
Yeah. He's on a plane to Vegas for Star Trek Las Vegas. I'll translate if anybody has any questions for you, Homer. He's in Discord, so he can hear me there.
Chelsea, did you say you are going to Vegas?
I'm too poor. I cannot afford it. I really want to, but again, like, so much money.
What about you, Aaron?
I don't know if I'm going to make it this year.
No, sorry, I meant the other Aaron. I know you.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not going to
That's
be
why I
there.
laughed to start speaking like.
You're not, huh?
No.
Damn, only half of us are going. What a tragedy.
I'm not going
I
either.
go.
Yeah, Cirroc, aren't you going for a day or two?
Maybe.
You said you had to be there. You said I'll be there for at least a day or two. But
Yeah,
now you're bringing me.
I said I'll be in Vegas, but I didn't say I'd actually.
Wow.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
I'll be in Vegas.
Yeah.
But not
Game
with
works.
you.
Homer's very upset. Homer's upset. He said boo because I think he's really going there to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, then I might show up to visit your table, Eric,
Homer, he
but
says he might show up.
I'll be there for 15 minutes, so you got to find out which.
Does somebody like
Hunt him
sneak me
down.
in or something?
Hunt him down.
What, Chelsea?
Somebody just like sneak me in or something.
I could sneak you in, Chelsea.
Oh my God, thank
For
you.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Chelsea, if you're looking at Cirroc right now, that'll be your view in the car. He'll put you, in the bottom, the trunk, and that's what it looks like. So
I can sneak you in, Chelsea. Don't worry.
Chelsea, the big cost isn't the actual convention itself. It's the hotel and the trip over there if you live super far away. I mean, a lot of people go to the actual Star Trek convention and don't even pay for the badges to get in. They just hang out in the lobby and see all the Star Trek fans and take pictures and hang out and do whatever. They don't actually go into the panel rooms or anything like that. They They don't even need it. So
when you get into like, photographs and photo ops and stuff like that, then it gets expensive.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where Shatner, I think, is 100 flat out, no matter what you do. So, I mean.
Yeah, you can meet him in the bathroom and he'll charge you 100.
Much.
Why would I be in the boys' bathroom?
To meet Shatner.
That's a good point.
Yeah, thank you.
Jimmy Crane.
Last year
Chelsea's
was
so
crazy.
honest. That's a
Jimmy
good
Crane.
I would like to tell you all something about Chelsea. She is actually an amazing cosplayer.
What?
She
Aw.
keeps us kind of hidden, but she's done some amazing costumes, and she really should get out there more with those costumes. She would put a lot of other cosplayers to shame. She has this really great oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. You know, when they have the goggles, the steampunk one that that you came to one of the cons I was at locally, and you looked amazing. And I think she kind of underplays it a little bit too much on herself. She does a really great job with a lot of her costumes.
Oh, thanks.
So you hopefully one day can make it to Vegas, so you can, you don't always have to dress up, as a Starfleet officer or something. I think you could do
It could be a
a lot of the
Klingon.
stuff that you do would be
I'll do
great
a
there.
steampunk board. We'll do a steampunk board.
Yeah.
Steampunk board.
Steampunk board.
That would be really cool, and I bet you would do an amazing job. And she has this incredible tattoo of a spine, right? Isn't that right, down your back?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's really awesome. You
Yeah,
should utilize that. Yeah, okay, keep your clothes on.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
I don't know how you did that sitting down, but
I
that's
saw
I
that.
got lost too. I was like, what am I facing?
easy, Chelsea, easy. At least the car's not moving. But you should do the Borg steampunk, and somehow in your outfit, that tattoo should still show in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Your cosplay.
Yeah, I should do that. Try to think of a way to move stuff. Because I've used what is it called? Pax paint to do body paint, and that stuff does not come off.
I use Axe deodorant, and it never comes off.
Oh, and if you guys want to get scared, come to my haunt in October, 17th store. I auditioned yesterday. 17th store.
17th
The what?
door or
Yeah,
floor?
the haunt I'm doing.
Yeah, she does. She often works like at the different Not Scary Farm and Magic Mountain. They do all these haunted stuff in October. She always works at those Universal Studios. She dresses up as you've done zombies. You tell them. Why am I telling? You tell them all the things you do. Aaron's extremely interested in this part.
I did 3 years at Fright Fest at Magic Mountain. That was a lot of fun, and now I'm about to do my 4th year of 17th store in Fullerton, and it's an interactive haunt, so you got to sign a waiver and everything. But it has a story to it,
No waiver.
and it's a bit more extreme than the theme park.
Yeah.
Come through it.
Yeah.
Scare your
You
pants
might
off.
survive.
Might.
Yeah.
Also, we
Might.
have live roaches.
Ricky saw.
Yep.
All right.
Just I'm just listening. Right
I know.
away.
Of course you are. I know.
17th store. Come do it.
Well, I think they all live in different states, so that might be a little bit hard, except for Ryan and Cirroc and I.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. Destin, Florida.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
We'll get Cirroc, Ryan, and use
We
free
got
tickets.
all 3 corners of the nation.
Yeah.
Florida,
Yeah.
Who's it? Wait.
John's
you
going to be at
said
Star Trek Las Vegas. You
Destin,
got business
Florida?
cards to
I
share.
live in Destin, Florida. Yeah.
Oh shoot! Our
My
other-
girlfriend actually went to pick him up today.
Julie Grisham was in Destin, Florida, up until today.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, this
Where is
is
she today, Ryan?
very
She's back in
popular
New York.
tourist spot. This is my Papa John's in the summer here when the kids get out of school to when the kids go back to school. We're the busiest Papa John's in the world. We
Wow.
smash
Really?
records. Yeah,
You are Papa John's.
pretty much. Yes. Yeah.
What's the name of it? Destin?
Destin, Florida. It's a huge. I mean,
It's a destination.
yes, it's becoming the premier Destin spot in Florida for the last 3 years. They're labeling it the second Miami. It's just we're not as big as Miami. It's basically a one-road situation with 5 million people there. So it's horrible traffic-wise. I mean, it's devastating. But the money's great. I'm not gonna lie.
5 million people?
Yeah, they get upwards to 5 million people. But they said that we're a one-road situation. It's tiny.
And it's a different time zone than the rest of Florida.
We're central, yeah.
Although you might want to put a little sticky over that right there, just Papa John's. I feel like we're a little advertising.
Making me hungry.
There you go.
It does sound good right now.
Rex, have you been to any Star Trek conventions?
Absolutely.
Let's hear about them.
Well, I come from the old school, so take in mind I was 6 years old when TOS came out. So I actually went to some of the Star Trek cons that were very, very small in the beginning. I can tell you of the ones that are in like just what you would call a motel. Very, very smaller crowds.
Mid-70s.
Able to get up to stars a lot closer. Back then, they actually didn't charge for autographs back then.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. That was really cool because I've got a lot from back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the years, I have gone to a few, as I told Aron in like 2015, 2016, I lost my legs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how and that's how actually I got to be such a fan of Deep Space Nine. Actually, the wonderful episode where, of course, Nog loses his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that episode really came to heart for me because a lot of the stuff that happened in that actually happened to me because of the phantom pains where they say that, everything is in your mind, everything like that. You go through that phase of that depression, not knowing what your life is going to be like. And I actually lost one leg in 2015 and turned around and lost the second one in 2016. So within a couple years that I lost them, I had them, I'm 55 years old, so I've only been an amputee for probably about 3 to 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I have found out is that my life didn't change at all. It's really amazing that the things that they have done with prosthetics, where we've come. Of course, we don't have as good of ones as we have on Deep Space Nine, but these are really close. And sometimes I even just forget that I even have them.
Wow.
So I've been able to go to a lot of cons. The last one I went to last year was Galaxy Con, which is in Louisville. Getting ready to go to Cincinnati. That'll be coming up here in September. I actually belong and am very active in Starfleet Command, which is actually a fan-based club. So we go around, set up tables, and actually recruit for the club, keeping that fan base out there for you guys.
Thank you.
So yeah, exactly.
And Rex, briefly tell everybody what you do, because you told me the other day how you do a lot of reach out to other veterans. And oftentimes you use Star Trek as a means to help people through the things.
Absolutely. So I'm a mentor. I get called in every once in a while to hospitals when they have kind of a bad case of somebody who's lost a limb. They use me a lot because I happen to be very positive. I come walking in the door and I have so many people that tell me they can't even tell that I have prosthetics when I come in the door. But I go in to show them that there is more to their lives, that just because your legs or your arms or whatever you happen to lose is gone, that there's still a life there. So what I basically do is I come in and I actually take the episode with me. And we actually sit down with people and I watch the episode with them.
Wow.
And it actually has become very, very impactful for them. There's a lot of people that are just not even Star Trek fans, but still at the same time, it has produced some, that's for sure. But it's just been that point of seeing what went on with the episode, showing them how, through that episode, Nog goes through all the different stages that every amputee goes to, and then at the end realizes that his life really hasn't changed that much, that really he can move on with that. He can move on and get out of being in that hollow suite where, that's kind of the same thing they're going into. A lot of them lock themselves at home. They don't want to go out into public. They think that there's something wrong with them now.
The hollow suite also can signify addiction. Not addiction. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever helps take you away from the reality. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it is it is really neat to see how this episode has really shown itself to people that I deal with and see what their reaction is to it. And as I told you the other day, I have a lot of tears at the end of that episode when I'm sitting and talking to people. So it's very, very impactful, especially to somebody who's a recent amputee. So I try to take that in and have them view it with me.
Well, awesome, Rex. And we're happy to have you part of our show and part of our community. So thank you so much for sharing everything and
absolutely
expressing what you have for me. Thank you, man.
What a great
Aaron,
story.
I feel like I've asked you this before, but just to ask it again, when you get stories like that, you know, people that have gone through these incredible things and with so much strength and grace like Rex has done, and then they actually turn to you and say, you know, thank you, or you are an inspiration, or you helped me, or I bring this along. I mean, that's got to be a pretty powerful thing to hear consistently. And every time, I would imagine every time you hear it, it still gives you that same kind of feeling.
Absolutely. And kind of goes back to what Cirroc and I have talked about on the show, not knowing how powerful, you know, and how life-changing our show was at the time while we were doing it, and how much it's changed people's lives for the good years and 20 years later, or how important the show was in the stories that they were telling. When I did Paper Moon, I never ever thought that I would ever be hearing stories as Rex has shared with me, or that show in of itself would have such an important and positive impact on so many people. It never once dawned on me that. I think I was a bit narrow-minded and just worried about, you know, making sure my performance was on, the honesty of the story I was telling, and doing the best job I could. I don't even remember if the script even says PTSD. And I remember not once ever thinking of that, that's what Nog was going through. I really kind of just put where I felt Nog was in his head in that episode. So I never put a label on it. Not that labels aren't important in some ways, but I never actually called it what he was going through. And so then, you know, years later, to hear things and stories that Rex shares and that many others, it blows my mind away, because I always thought, I didn't even realize I was dealing with PTSD, which is probably the most honest way to go about it, because you probably, Rex, have met people who didn't realize that they were dealing with PTSD until they were able to recognize that. So, so in a sense, I was so happy looking back now that I truly went for the honesty of where I thought Nog was at, rather than try to go pretend to play what I think that's what this is. Does that make sense? So anyway.
Right. And I think also back in time when you did the episode, it wasn't as big of a thing out there for people to be talking about. Over the years, it's become more and more out there. And more and more people realize it's a problem. And so probably at that time, you didn't feel like it was as important as it is now.
Yeah, there's a massive stigma with mental illness.
Yeah, true. And it's also changed. The name of it has changed, right? Yeah. Originally, like long time, Shell Shock, right?
Yeah. Right.
And there's 4.
Couple name changes. Yeah.
Shell Shock to, what was the next one? Anybody know?
I had to look it up, but it went through a bunch of changes before PTSD.
Right.
Now, real quick, I just want to say, Rex, I think I see a Wrath of Khan uniform behind you.
You do.
And I also want to say hello and welcome to Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie came in at such a serious moment.
Yeah, we're like, sorry, we're going to have to ignore you for next week. Anne-Marie, my bad.
Hey, let me see that shirt, Anne-Marie. What kind of shirt you got on?
Hey!
Wow!
Hey, our first demonstration of our shirt with the Nog eyes. And
wait, hang on.
Is that blue? Or purple?
It's blue.
God, I love that blue with the orange.
It's amazing. I've been getting a lot of compliments.
But how comfortable is it?
It's the most comfortable thing in the world.
Wow.
That's what people say. When Nog is that close to people, they say it's the most comfortable.
Yeah, you should definitely be modeling that shirt.
Oh, yeah. I totally have a Nog on my chest.
Yeah, wow. Happy birthday. Oh, my.
Nog's face,
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Anne-Marie.
I'm actually jealous of Nog.
First time ever.
I have to say, I saw you were watching Storyteller today, and I was like, man, I remember watching this when I was 9, and I was so jealous of that girl that she got to hang out with these cool guys, Jake and Nog. So I was like, wow, I've arrived.
And you were really jealous when she kissed Nog, weren't you?
Oh, obviously.
Yes, I was. Oh, you're talking to Ann. Wow.
That's great. That's great.
I love the
Was it
shirt,
real
though.
oatmeal?
It looks really cool.
Oh, yeah. I want them in everything.
So Aaron, what's your last name again?
Patrick.
Hetrick, that's right. I was just saying, like, every time we call on you, we gotta say Aaron Hetrick so that, because otherwise we got Aaron Eisenberg that goes, yes. I'm like, well, no.
I never have my face that close to the camera because I can't reach. So let's.
Aaron Hetrick, do you remember that episode?
Yes, I do. Yes, I really like
jealous
that.
did you feel?
I didn't feel jealous, I have to say, but
Wait.
That's okay,
Which
too.
are we talking about Storyteller?
Yeah.
Aaron.
No.
Okay.
that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
Storyteller.
What did
Pardon?
you think about that episode, Aaron?
I really enjoy that episode. It always strikes me as odd that there's this creature that is attacking some part of Bajor that nobody else seems to know
the
about.
podunk part
I
of
thought the same thing. I'm like, is this an isolated, bubble?
It seems like the point of that episode is to show that Bajor still has a lot of local isolation and sort of division among it, to sort of highlight that it's maybe not ready for the Federation. That seems to me to be one of the points of that episode, and I think that's what the use of that is, but it does seem strange. But I really like it. I really like the episode anyway.
I could offer this to you, though, this info. Michael Pillars, in the Memory Alpha I was reading, Michael Pillars had that script throughout TNG, and he kept trying to use it, and it never really found a place. And other writers kept saying, nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, I don't. And it's kind of based on the short story, A Man Who Would Be King. And so in the context of what you just said, you could argue that maybe it's slightly out of place on DS9 in the sense that it does have this isolated village. He even calls it a village on Bajor. And do you say Bajor or Bajor? Because Kira always says Bajor, and I always say Bajor.
Bajor.
What?
You're such a
Yeah,
Picard.
you're right. Picard says Bajor.
Bajor.
I say Bajor.
Bajor. It's Bajor.
I've come to know the Bajorans.
But that's right. But we say Bajorans. We don't say Bajorans, do we?
Bajor.
Well, I mean, they're technically the Bajora, but we call them the
Oh, you're
Bajor.
right.
Ooh,
I was right. Thank you, Ricky. I was right. So you could argue that that's why it kind of has that feel of like, seems weird that this is in there. Aren't there other villages nearby that go, oh my God, what is that?
It kind of reminded me of James and the Giant Peach with that giant cloud and rhinoceros in the air.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It
Great.
reminded
that
me
big
of
cloud,
in Los Angeles.
My question is, how many other times does this happen on Bajor? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, because when they do the traces, and I had to go back to this video because for my emissary review, I'm doing a neutrino thing on my Technobabble, and they find residual traces of neutrino when this thing attacks, but the thing really has no substance in a tricorder. So it's really weird because it's like they don't really get the explanation on how this thing even is kind of created, or if there's just some type of technology that is just running these people amok or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's a weird story altogether. But I mean, I think this is one of those, the O'Brien torture episodes. You know what I'm saying? O'Brien must suffer. And
O'Brien must suffer.
O'Brien must suffer. And that's pretty much what I think this episode is one of the first ones that kind of leads to that.
They should have left O'Brien there as the storyteller and then makes, appearances throughout the series. That would have been very interesting.
That would be awesome.
And Marie, are you rocking yourself to sleep right now?
I totally am.
Like,
Well, don't fall asleep on us.
I'm like trying to stay awake. No.
hey, we got a puppy in the corner. Whose pup is that? There it is.
Where?
Rex, you got a dog? Let's see it.
I want to see the dog.
Melissa's here. If anybody wants to say hi to Melissa.
Yes.
Hey,
finally.
Melissa.
You gotta come in. Oh my gosh, she's like behind this eyeball right here. Behind that eyeball.
Let's see the pup, Rex.
Where's the pup?
The doggo.
Where's the doggy?
There he is.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Where's the doggy? I can't see it.
Hey, there's Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Anne Marie says hi.
Where's the doggy?
Ryan says hi.
Rex has a dog, right?
I want to see the doggy.
I just got a
child.
Go to
Grizz have a child.
I just got a child. He's right here playing his video games behind me.
Hey, child.
He's
Hi, child. His child is only an arm.
Yes. A disembodied arm.
That's messed up.
John, so everybody, Ryan, John is coming to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He's got new business.
John, where do you have that DS9 logo behind you? What is that? Where is that?
That
He does
is
this every time, Cirroc.
it is on a wall here at my game store.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Is that airbrushed on? Like someone did that?
Yep.
I think he used black Sharpies.
Where are you again, John? I don't remember. Like
New York.
New York. We got a lot of New Yorkers around here.
They did a good job on that. Looks amazing.
A little bit of repair needs to be done on it. Some of the paint started to peel.
Yeah,
But-
fix that, John, for next time. It's very embarrassing right now.
We got to get the rest of the wall painted
Gotta
up
keep the
first.
rep up, you know.
We need to have a 7th ruled day at John's gaming store and play games.
Yeah.
I am fully okay with that.
You down for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, board games, Ryan. Play board games
You ever
at
play,
town.
Star Trek
somewhere in New York.
I
Yeah.
want to play board games.
All right. Emery, you're
Yeah,
in New
that's
York,
like
right?
a 22-hour drive.
Yeah. If
You're
we
invited,
get a con
Ann.
out there, John.
What's that?
If we get a con out there, we'll find a way to make that happen.
Well,
There's
New
a
York
couple of them
Comic-Con.
out
Yeah,
here.
New York Comic-Con's next. That's the next one coming up, right?
Yeah, we have to be invited to that. It's not so easy to just.
Oh, I invited you.
Well, thank
All
you.
right, so
Oh.
there's
Thank you.
a thing called Ithacon.
Anne Marie is invited.
Ithacon?
It's con.
Ithacon. It's
It's a con?
in New York.
It's a con or
Yeah.
it's a con?
Ithacon.
Ithaca, New York. Yeah.
He's playing with you, John.
That's how
Don't
Mike
listen to this
Tyson
guy.
says it's a con.
There it is. That's how Mike Tyson says it.
Ithacon.
Ryan with the singer.
Uh,
Ryan wins for the joke of the day.
Well, you set him up. I just knock him down. Mike Tyson does a lot of the work too.
Yeah, but you still went with it. That was good. Nobody else did, Ryan. You grabbed the bull by the horns, or by the
did.
horns. You grabbed the bull by the horns.
By the horn. Grab the bull by
It's a con. No, it's a con.
Yep.
No,
JG
that's probably like Ithaca, right?
What's that?
Yeah, Ithaca, New
Yeah,
York.
I guess.
I'm assuming Ithaca, New York. Yeah.
Yeah. It's right there at Ithaca College.
Stop laughing, Aaron.
You wait till I get out in Vegas.
I want to go. I want to take him to Ithaca. So mean. It's not nice. It's not nice. Ryan, why'd you have to pull the evilness out?
It was always there.
Although he did bite somebody's ear, so maybe I don't have to have so much forgiveness. So
Yeah, plus he's not that nice to Cirroc.
No,
He's
he's
not
not
that
that nice.
That's right. Good
Thank you,
knowledge, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
Good
Yes.
knowledge.
Good
He's
memory.
not that nice to me. Yes. So I'm going to stay away from joking about Mike Tyson.
I got you on my hit list, Rock.
I'm trying to get off the list.
I'll take you down, Rock.
Oh my god.
Maybe have an
that's like the
intervention.
worst impression.
Oh, God.
Can't figure it out.
Have an intervention with him and just like make peace.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that kind of talk, Chelsea.
What? I'm trying to be a pacifist here.
You're right. You're the
Yeah.
adult in the room right now. You're right.
No,
I'll
she's
pass
the
the
adult.
fist to you.
She's the adult in the car.
I'm
In the
definitely
car.
an adult.
Horrible joke.
I'm an
horrible.
adult
The one
in
person that's
Corolla.
driving.
Hey, we haven't the Picard trailer came out. We haven't talked. How do you all feel about the Picard trailer? Let's start with Aaron, because I think Aaron, I was thinking that maybe you freeze framed because you've been smiling the whole time. And I feel like I want to engage you. Tell us what you thought about the Picard series trailer.
Well, I was very excited to see it. Seeing that Data and 7 of 9 are going to be there, and then the news that Riker and Troy are going to be there as well. Hugh. I've been hoping since I heard about the series that it was not going to just be Picard and a group of brand new people, but that they use the opportunity to bring in the rest of the people from these other series, as many as is reasonable to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very excited, very, very happy.
Excellent. Anything that
I was just going to say, who here thinks that we're also going to get a surprise cameo from someone from Deep Space Nine? They're not going to leave out Deep Space Nine, right?
Yeah, I think they might.
I hope so.
I think they might. I'm not.
Nana back, or one of the people who would be on Deep Space, Ezri even, or
I think Michael Dorn or Colin.
They could probably be the best one. I think, because he's
even Bashir.
Big O'Brien. I mean, but O'Brien's still technically TNG. You know, I don't know. But I would say
Worf back.
Bring Worf back, right?
Yeah.
Worf's the king, man.
No, Worf is coming back. Worf is like he's from Pet Cemetery. And no matter what show ends, he comes back.
It's true, though.
We need like
Worf is the king.
Yeah.
You can't beat his record. I think he's got 272 in episodes.
Also, we need to know like what the hell's up with Beverly? Like, why is she not in it?
Beverly.
Well, we're not going to be able to have everybody come back.
Yeah, but that's like
let's talk about the weakest characters in TNG.
Yeah, well, that's not fair, Ricky. That's not nice. I spoke to somebody.
I'm not a Crusher fan.
They should bring back Will Wheaton.
Yeah, well, you might see that, but I think at the same time you have to have the show stand on its own. If you just keep bringing back everybody, it just looks like the Brady Bunch reunion,
Pretty much.
Jan's in there, and even Alice is there. And after a while, it just kind of dilutes the show into setting it up to be its own show. I think it's very dull.
They should set it up to like you're playing Star Trek Online. Like you go to here, and then you get a little speckle of a cameo, and then you go on with the story, and then you go over here, then you get a little speckle.
Yeah, but that's a game. That's a game. That's a lot.
I'm just saying, like a premise.
Yeah, but Picard says he doesn't want to leave the game yet. So
yes, game is not over.
This is a lot of fan service, and I am here for it.
Yeah, and actually, I read a really interesting article about it.
Absolutely.
Wait, what were you saying, Anne?
Oh, I read this really interesting article about how I hadn't even thought of it this way because obviously it's so like central in my television loving, but it was about how like it's such a niche television show, like the ultimate one, where how are any new people going to possibly watch it when like you have to see so many hundreds of hours of television to like totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like usually I would agree like you can totally have a new cast and like make it its own show, but actually like I don't think it's bad to bring back like as many people as you want because it's not like you're going to confuse new fans.
Here's why here's why I think it's a bad idea to keep bringing back too many characters. One, I think you go to Cirroc's critique of Discovery, number one, which is a very good critique in the sense that it goes to
a lot of critiques,
and it has to stick to all this canon, and it just goes back into your and this isn't what he said, but I'm taking it a little bit further into your preconceived ideas and really where you all got into Star Trek. If this show keeps bringing in others, then what's going to happen is everyone's going to complain about the story, or there's not enough writing and there's not enough character development, and everyone's going to complain about something else. It's kind of like when the new Star Wars came out, not the recent ones, but the one with told the story of Vader, and everybody ripped on it. And my theory to that also was that everybody wants to have that feeling of what they had when they first watched it and what really is their true love of that brought them into Star Trek. And they want that again. And they search so much of, but that's my favorite character. And I really love that character. And I want that one to come back. And, we got to have this. And all of a sudden you have all this coming in to make everybody feel like, look who came back. And then something is going to suffer for that. There has to be a balance in telling that story where it's sprinkled and maybe one or two come in now, maybe one comes a little bit later, one you see in section 31, and all of a sudden the world is engaged of Star Trek without overpowering each individual show. And I think that's what's really important.
Moderation. Moderation is definitely.
Professional writers, I'm sure they'll do it right. And you're right, Aaron, but I'm sure they know how to do it. Now, Chelsea, who's hanging upside down like a fire, brings up a good point about Hugh. She said she's really glad that Hugh came back, and she had a really good reasoning for it. Can we hear it, Chelsea?
You can't be serious.
Yes, I am. Well, I thought his story arc was actually a great allegory for leaving an abusive fundamentalist religion. Because, like, when you first meet him, he kind of acts like an abused child, kind of just doing what everyone else says, and he's, like, totally flabbergasted when he gets a choice to make to have, you know, agency over his own life. And in fundamentalist religions, they often control you and make it seem like everything outside the religion is the other, and you have to follow the rules or else. They just erode your self-esteem and sense of self. And later on, you know, in the other episodes, when he does finally leave, and the thing with abuse victims is they often go back to their abusers, so, which he did. But when he did leave, brought people with him, and when people come out of an abusive situation, they often don't have the best judgment, and as he said before, some of them end up like committing suicide, and they end up falling for even more abusive situations like with Lore. So I thought it was like a great allegory for that.
You know, did you guys watch the TV show The Sinner?
Yeah.
That kind of covered that in season 2. The Sinner's a really good series. It's done 2 seasons. Second one was a little bit worse than the first season. But it kind of covered that in season 2. It's really a really good series. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I'm not seeing any not.
You hear it first though. The daughter, I mean the girl in the picture, the Picard. I think it's Hugh's daughter, 100%. It's Hugh's daughter. It is not Lol. It is not anybody else.
That's not Lol.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. Anybody else have suggestions? Let's take a gamble. Let's bet on it right now. And who do you think his daughter is? The girl.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of it. I was thinking like, is Hugh Dr. Colbert?
I was just looking for Cirroc.
My first name is
I just couldn't find us. John, who do you think the girl is?
My original thought process when she says she feels comfortable being around Picard, maybe the Borg kept some of his.
He's not even comfortable with children.
And they decided to grow an offspring from him. So a little far-fetched, but maybe Picard's kid.
All right. Aron?
Maybe Shinzon's daughter.
Ooh, nice.
Shinzon. Who's Shinzon? I forgive my ignorance.
By Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, that's
just
right.
watched that last night.
Okay. Rex?
Isn't the default answer
your
Riker?
mic's off again.
Yeah.
Rex is mad at you.
Rex. Put on your mic and then say that again.
Beverly Crusher and Picard got together, maybe, and this is going
I
to be
thought that was who
offspring.
Wesley Crusher was.
Yeah, but I know, but I mean, like,
They got another one.
Yeah.
Right, they've got another one.
That's okay. That's a working theory too.
No, I wasn't trying to be sarcastic, even though I make
No, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you've got Wesley, but
Yeah.
maybe there's another one too.
I think it's Worf and Beverly Crusher's love child, but that's
That could be. That could
Oh,
be
maybe
too.
that.
Tasha Yar and Picard in the Anchor.
because Worf always has to come back.
Right.
Who is the offspring of Janeway and Tom's offspring they left on the planet.
There you go.
It's actually Harry Kim's long-lost daughter.
Harry Kim. Yeah, exactly.
Did we miss anybody?
I feel safe with you. That just made
Maybe
me
she's just a female clone or something.
I
don't
feel
know.
safe with you. I think she's a fan of the X-Men, and I think she's Wolverine.
There you go.
Could be.
Growing up a
I don't
little.
know. It kind of
Wrong franchise. She was looking for Professor X.
Yes, exactly. Hey, isn't this the? I do feel though the trailer has too much of a similar story, but we'll have to wait and see if that's right. I was kind of feeling it was a little rehashed. Who said that?
The same thing as you. I also thought
Rex.
the same thing you used, Aaron, is that Picard, when he first talks, sounds so old.
Yeah.
You know, when you first see him in that first part of the trailer, you know.
That's what the Federation does to you, Rex.
Yeah,
For real.
absolutely. But he just seemed so old to begin with. You know, his voice didn't sound good.
Right.
You know, things like that. So I was kind of like you on that when I first saw it. I'm like, man, what's wrong with him? You know?
Yeah.
Does he have
Cirroc
some
made a
disease?
joke that I thought was a little mean. He's like, "Where's the walker?"
Yeah, exactly.
For real. And I don't understand.
I'll get to that captain's chair.
When you retire from Starfleet, You retire to manual hard labor. I don't know.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
There
Like,
you go.
that's your retirement plan. Well, what are you going to do after you're a captain or admiral? Well, I'm going to go to a vineyard and work my ass off. And you know, I mean, I don't know. And it's not the first one. I mean, look at Sisko. Sisko wanted to go to Bajor and put up a house, work and live in a farm. You know what I'm saying? It's
The
like
land was cheap. It's still so cheap right now. It's just a good investment.
Maybe he's gonna do.
like
Maybe
when I
he's gonna
retire,
do
I'm
wine
retiring
cooler.
Yeah, it's
hard labor.
Wine cooler commercials. Maybe we're gonna have wine cooler commercials in there. The old Bottles and James commercial with the two
Oh
guys.
yeah, we remember those.
But it wasn't
Yeah,
just Picard feeling
Okay,
tired.
John. John's a dad over there.
Watch someone make Chateau Picard an actual brand and put it
Yeah.
out.
That would be cool.
Watch that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
So this will be the fourth series that Marina Sirtis played Troy on, right?
You are right. Yeah.
Yes.
That's got to be some kind of. It's got to be the record, right?
Yeah. As being the same character in 4 different series. Wow, you're right.
I have a feeling that
Wow.
her and
What
Riker
are the 4
make an
series?
appearance. But I don't think they have a far
Also
Enterprise,
Voyager and Enterprise.
TOS.
Voyager and Enterprise.
She refused to show up on our show.
She was on the original show.
She didn't, from what I understand, she didn't like the S9.
TNG, Cirroc.
You spent
Okay.
a lot of time there.
In
counseling.
TOS, she was much younger. She was like 35, I think.
But it shows that empaths do not make good pilots. So so Starfleet did a very good job of making sure if you're an empath, you're not going through
I
flight
just
school.
think they screwed the pooch on her powers. They could have done so much better.
Screwed the pooch.
So much,
And you know what?
so much better.
Sometimes the funny thing was that she didn't even get all of the plot lines that had to do with like psychic stuff. Like in Cause and Effect, Beverly Crusher was the one that was like, "Hey, I'm hearing voices. Something's different." In yesterday's Enterprise, it was Guinan that was like, "Something's different. Something's not right." And poor Marina's probably thinking like, "Hey, man, I only have one thing I can do, and everybody else."
How does she sense emotion through an entire ship into another ship?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like you look at the screen. It's like, Captain, I sense anger. Well, obviously he's pissed. He's looking at us. You know what I'm saying?
How did you sense it through like a ton of feet of metal into a ship? Like, how does that work?
I think we need to do a Mel Brooks version of stuff because it's got to be that obvious, you know, like the most obvious thing is happening on the view screen, but everybody's like, what, I don't understand what he's feeling. Troy, he's angry. Why are you so angry? No. Or she walks on the bridge and literally walks in and walks off and in the hallway, careful, he's really pissed off today.
Yeah, you know, the worst part would be when Picard is actually in an argument with someone. Somebody's like, "We're going to come in and we're going to shoot you." And Picard's like, "Oh, you better not. I've got phasers on my ship." And they're like, "No, you have 5 seconds." And then Troy goes, "I sense he's angry, Captain." He's like, "No,
Oh my gosh, you're doing such a good job.
It's like, no shit, Sherlock.
But then as the seasons go on, she adds a little bit more. He's angry with a hint of jealousy. And I think he's a bit
Irish.
can't quite place it. You know.
It sounds like she's like a wino. It sounds like she's a wine when she's like tasting wines. You sense a little bit of anger in this.
Yeah, I
wine.
guess.
Yeah.
We're gonna paint some anger over here. All right.
Wait, I want to change my answer about that girl's dad or mom. I think it's Guinan's child. Because who else would say that?
Actually say, I'm an empath, not a fighter. I feel what you feel.
That's right.
Wait, can Ryan just do our one-man TNG show?
Yeah. But,
Rock had enough of this conversation and bailed. He's like,
don't
I'm
want to
done.
see that.
I'm out of here.
I couldn't take it.
He's very sensitive about Troy. Very sensitive.
Yeah. Especially on my knuckles, like it tingles here.
And does she ever say that? Does she ever say, like, the person on the view screen, careful, it's very sensitive. Don't mention his ears. Don't mention his ears.
Right.
No.
No,
they can't
never
read
does that.
Ferengis.
Nope.
They can't read Ferengi emotions.
The closest to that I can think of is when Jellicoe says, Cardassians are bold in big numbers, cautious when they're alone.
Jellicoe.
But Anne-Marie?
He loves Jellicoe, like the worst captain ever.
Jellicoe is underrated and underloved.
I love Jellicoe.
That's right.
I love
Jello?
Jellicoe.
Did you say Jellicoe?
Yeah, Jellicoe. He's like the worst.
Jello cold.
He likes lime Jello.
Yeah.
It's like they took Jericho and just changed it just ever so slightly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've seen Ronnie Cox and he's got his own bluegrass band.
He's in Texas now, right?
Yeah, he's got his own band. He's a bluegrass player. And it's like I just was going through YouTube on bluegrass, just looking up some bluegrass music, and there he is. Wait a second. Is that Jello? Oh my God, it is Jellicoe. He's got a band? Yeah, but he's actually a pretty good musician. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Fun fact, we're considering him to be in Renegades, Aaron. But he was out in Texas and he's retired and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kornemic was in Texas.
Okay. But he was already established in the first one, so he had to come back. But yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You're right.
I wasn't trying to be sarcastic. I was just like, but I didn't know if that. Okay,
never retired, and whatever.
Yeah, I gotcha. I get you.
So we only got a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
So Aaron Hetrick, the floor is yours. You got 2 minutes. Say whatever you want,
bro.
I don't have anything prepared. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh, Aaron, you better come in here next time prepared.
I didn't think I would win. I'm so.
If you had to choose, Aaron, between Section 31 or the Picard series, which would you choose?
Oh, the Picard series. I'm actually rather concerned about the Section 31 series because if Giorgio is supposed to be the lead of that series, she's a murderer. If you watch season 1, you see her murder people that are working for her. And we've never had a Star Trek series where somebody who has such poor character is.
Well, I mean, the murder is the slightest part. I mean, she's a fascist. She's like, goes on and on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
murder's pretty bad.
I got an answer for you.
Heavily right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, so in terms of Picard versus Section 31, absolutely Picard, and I'm actually rather concerned about what the Section 31 series is going to do to the franchise.
All right, I got advice. You ready, John? I hope you're listening to this one.
Yep.
So to prepare for Section 31, to answer your question, all of you go watch The Shield. Then
you almost made it.
You and I are going to have issues out in Vegas.
No, then watch it. Homer's with me. Homer just gave me a ha because he watched it, and that'll answer your question. Jokes aside, hate if you will, watch it, and then that'll, if you actually stick with it, and even Homer says yes, watch it. And
that's allegedly.
Make a deal with you.
Wow, why would I make that up? If I could link this for you, I would. He's on Discord right now, and he said, yes, watch it. Because he's the only one of you who have actually watched it and go, it's actually a really good show. And and I can't really give it away, even if you just watch the first episode, because that'll kind of answer your question a little bit of how you could get into a show like Section 31. If I had to choose between the two, I feel like I would be most excited about Section 31 because it would be a different facet of the Jewel. Because Picard feels a little bit too TNG 2.0, rehashing old. Now we got to bring Picard in. Everybody loves Picard.
We also get 7 and 9.
Wait, I will tell you.
Wait, hold on, Ricky, hold on. Because I feel like CBS is doing a big money grab. They're going, but we'll get Picard and everybody's going to come in. Like a big fish hook because everybody's so excited to rehash their feelings and their joy of TNG. And it looks great, and I hope it's good, but I'm a little like,
Well, I, for one, am staunchly against companies trying to make money. But
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Ricky, go ahead. What were you saying?
I am happy about the Picard trailer, but I mean, I'm also a huge fan of The Expanse, and they dropped the season 4 trailer. And if you guys haven't checked out The Expanse is awesome. It is a very, very,
very heavy show.
That's what I
thought. It really is. And Nareen Shankar, who is the consultant for TNG and the story writer and producer, he's the one that took over and helped the authors of The Expanse make the series. And George R. R. Martin actually helped them write the first book of this series. And it's a 9-book series. It's going to be a 9-book series. They're in book 8 right now, but that's what the show is based off of. And the season 4, this book is going to be pretty intense if they because Amazon picked them up, and that releases restrictions on the content that Sci-Fi had restricted them on. So they're much more open. And
we'll have nudity.
So check that out. Oh, yes.
I'm
physics
in.
are real, and that's the reason why I like about it, because it's like there's no magical inertial Star Trek dampers. There's no. It is straight like
No inertial dampers?
Yeah, no.
They actually use real physics with this.
Oh yes, this is Swiss Family Robinson in space. This is basically what they are. I mean, it is ridiculously realistic. I mean, blood pools in the air. Like when you tear in space, like you know how there's no gravity, so your tears just well up and you know what I'm saying? They go really.
They actually take 6 episodes to travel from one planet to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, later on you'll find out
that them poop too.
Yeah,
no, it just shows the ship like this.
The first 3 books are basically backstory of what happens, and then after book 4, they kind of get into this like Stargate type of thing where basically they found an alien civilization that's been dead for billions of years, but they left all their stuff behind. And so the humans kind of screw around with it, and they open gates to all these other worlds, which opens up the books more. But for the first 3 books, then basically the first 3 seasons, it explains what happened before the gates open. Basically, what happened on Earth, how humanity is. It's very realistic. It's kind of like what we would be in that future, because like there's 30 billion people on Earth, 2/3 of them are poverty, only 1/3 works. A lot of people went to Mars to colonize, so they have their own little sect.
The
there.
asteroid belt, yeah.
Yeah, and the asteroid belt got colonized, so they have their own sect of people there who are actually born in 0G and have like longer limbs and physicalities that are different because they were born not in Earth gravity. But it's a very, very interesting series from and I say read the books before you watch the show, because it got a lot of backstory on it. But it's a very, very amazing sci-fi space show. It's a realistic as it gets.
Great. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Well, we
Anne-Marie.
gotta go now. But Aaron Eisenberg.
I just want to see Anne-Marie, Section 31 Picard. I'm betting.
Picard, and also because I'm really excited to see some like Voyager follow up with 7 because that show was so horrible the way they just like ended when they got back to Earth, and you're like, what the hell? Like, what I wanted to see was what happens when you get back. So I think it's gonna be like super fascinating.
Excellent, John.
Picard all the way.
All the way. All the way.
I liked you, John.
My big thing is I if they skip over B4 being a thing and it's just straight data, I'm going to have a slight issue with that. But what I think they're going to do is make that be flashbacks or Picard's conscience or a holodeck program or something, and not
or Data's brain in B4's body or something like that. Yeah. They're going to try it, I'm sure. Yeah.
I just hope they bring C-3PO back.
What do you guys think about the Orville moving to Hulu?
Thank you, Aaron.
We're going to have to cover that on a different one.
Yeah, next show. Rex, what Picard or Section 31? I think it's the last one.
I'm going to differ here, Section 31.
Oh, I love you, Rex. And Homer says Section 31 as well.
Right.
And Chelsea,
we
you're the last one.
We got to move on to some really excitement. You know, that was the whole thing with DS9. It was different. This should be different too. So I'm kind of excited about it.
Thank you, Rex. Ryan, we got to wrap up, right?
Break the tie.
Chelsea, last one. Break the tie, Chelsea. Picard, Section 31.
Picard.
Oh, there we go. Wait, you got
the jury has spoken. Section 31 is canceled. 7 seasons of Picard.
Oh, good. TNG 2.0.
Game over. Cut the title. Credits.
Game over. I look forward to all of it. Really. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about them on our show, so keep your ears open, everybody.
Yeah, Ensign Ricky, Aaron Hetrick. That's like Brian Hetrick and Glenn Hetrick. Glenn Hetrick, that's the makeup artist for Discovery. But anyway, Anne-Marie, John Tuffarello, Chelsea Rexwood, all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Cirroc, thanks for Go.
Cirroc.
And for Aaron Eisenberg, for Russ Haslidge, I'm Ryan T. Husk. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for all your support. You guys
Thanks for wearing the shirt, Anne-Marie.
Oh my God, but my shirt.
Special thanks to Anne-Marie for the shirt. Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye.